Hi, my name is Patty and I'm a senior at Seaham High School. Today I will be talking about chemicals in cosmetics and their effects on the bodies and what companies and corporations should be doing in putting on their labels for us consumers so we know exactly what we're putting on our bodies. So today we will be going over the FDA and its relationship with companies and corporations, the actual chemicals in the cosmetics and how they've been affecting our bodies, international relations and how they differ from US relations and their policies, and lastly, how I've been helping my community and how you can help your own community when it comes to making cosmetics safer. So the first thing is, what is the FDA? The Food and Drug Administration is a government-funded program which basically regulates what can and can't go out on the market when it comes to food or drugs. And within drugs is cosmetics. So they can say they give consent to things that go out on the market and things that can't go out on the market. A lot of people associate the FDA with testing products before they go out on the market. But unfortunately for most cosmetics products, this isn't true. The FDA only does 2 testings for cosmetics products before they go out on the market. And they're very loose tests. So the first one is if a cosmetic adds a color to their product, if they want to make it, redder or more pink, they will just test the color itself, not the whole product, just the chemical compound of the color to make sure it's safe before it goes out on the market. That's the first kind. The second kind of testing is called protocol, which the FDA will go out to random drugstores and pull things off the shelf and test the product to see if there is any illegal ingredients or to see if there's any labels that aren't correct or anything of that nature. That's what they'll look for. So that's the only 2 types of testing that the FDA does. Very loose, very lenient, and it leaves a lot for the company to do. And the company doesn't have to test their products. There is no legal obligation for a company to test their product before it goes out on the market. A lot of companies, if they do decide to test, will use animals. And according to the United States Humane Society, many of the animals that they use are rats and rabbits because of their high reproductive rate, and they are biologically similar to humans. So these animals will end up living a very short life of torture to test these ingredients before they go out on the market. A very smart company would realize that it is very bad publicity nowadays to do animal testing. People don't like seeing these animals being tortured for our benefit. So they will stop animal testing, and what they will do is they will either do 2 things. They will either get a group of volunteers and they will test the product on that small group of volunteers called the guinea pigs, and they will test it, see how they react to the product, see if there's anything wrong with it. If there's not, it'll be released for the public, and then that's it. And the second type is no testing at all. It'll be released to the public without any tests, and if there's anything wrong with it, they'll take it off, and if there's not, they'll just keep it on. So that's basically the testing process within the FDA and the companies. When a product is, being recalled, it is called an adulterated product. And according to the FDA, an adulterated product is any product that has, a misprinted label or contains illegal ingredients. So it's basically anything internally or externally wrong with the product is an adulterated product. And the process for going over an adulterated product is very similar to the testing. The FDA can suggest a company to pull off a product, off the market. But if that company didn't use any illegal ingredients, they don't have to. So what this means is that it is entirely up to the company to decide to pull their product off the market or not. Many companies, knowing that it is very bad publicity to keep a product that is causing harm on the market, so most of them will end up taking it off, but like I said before, there is just no legal responsibility for them to do that. So there's a lot of looseness within the FDA and companies. They are giving a lot of the company is giving a lot of responsibility, and let the FDA is just kind of letting the companies do as they please. Another thing that the FDA does is they set very loose, very, very, very loose key terms to the words organic and hypoallergenic. What this means is these companies can use the words organic or hypoallergenic on their products, and without it actually being organic or hypoallergenic. The FDA states that there's no legal definition of these words when it comes to cosmetics. So a product that isn't even organic or isn't even hypoallergenic can still put it on its label because there is no strict definition. And us as consumers play a big role when it comes to the consumerism of cosmetics. We give our nonverbal consent to use these products. We buy it, we use it, and then we buy it again. And it's a process, and if we like it and it is making our skin look good or clearing up our face, then we'll keep using it. So we are almost supporting it without even knowing what it is doing to us internally. And so that's what we will be talking about next, is the internal problems that come along with these cosmetics. So there are three main classifications, and the first one is known as a carcinogen. And according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, a carcinogen is anything that causes cancer, anything that has been linked to cancer. And one of the biggest chemicals out there that is actually getting more and more popular to see, cosmetics without is parabens. You'll see a lot of labels on products that say paraben free, or you'll just see that more recently now. And that is because there's been a lot of studies and a lot of dissertations done on parabens that say that this chemical is directly correlated with cancer. And what a paraben is, it is a preservative in your cosmetics. So it's not just found in shampoo or moisturizer or makeup. It's found almost everywhere because all it does is make sure that your product doesn't expire when it's on the shelf in the store to when it's on the shelf in your bathroom. That's basically all it does. So there was a study done by the Breast Cancer Foundation of America who tested a group of women who had breast cancer, and they took a biopsy, and inside the tumor they actually found chemical traces of parabens, which is very scary because that is a direct correlation with the chemical to the cancer. So that is very, very scary. Some products known to have parabens in it are Clean and Clear Foaming Cleanser, Pantene Pro V Shampoo, and CoverGirl Mascara. And the thing about all these is they're all different things because it is a preservative. So it is almost in every cosmetic that you can use because of how convenient it is, because parabens are known to be very cheap and very effective. And when something is cheap and effective for the companies to use, then they'll use it because it's they want to make a quick buck. So that's basically parabens. The second type of classification is known as an endocrine disruptor. And according to the Mayo Clinic, an endocrine disruptor is any product or substance that causes stress or damage to your endocrine system. And your endocrine system basically consists of keeping your hormones in balance. So something that an endocrine disruptor would do is three things mainly, is make sure imbalance your hormones, cause infertility, and cause birth defects. So those are the three main things that endocrine disruptors are capable of, which is very, very scary because unlike cancer, which is just one thing, endocrine disruptors can lead to a multitude of symptoms, which is very, very scary. So one of the main endocrine disruptors that is out there right now is known as triclosan. And triclosan is a bacteria-killing agent that is put in products to kill bacteria. And when it kills the bacteria, it makes your body resistant to it, which is very bad. So it's kind of like when you hear when people use hand sanitizer all the time, it doesn't work anymore. It's kind of the same thing that happens with triclosan. When you use it all the time, your body becomes resistant to it, and in effect, your immune system can become weaker because of it. Other than this, triclosan has been shown to cause infertility in both males and females, which is very, very scary, especially when you start using cosmetics at a very young age. And some products that contain triclosan are Colgate toothpaste, Colgate whitening toothpaste to be specific, Old Spice deodorant, and Dial body wash. And you can tell it is mainly used in things just to clean yourself because it is antibacterial, so it has more of a purpose in that category than anything else. And the last classification, and probably the hardest to define, is a skin irritant. And according to the Mayo Clinic, a skin irritant is anything that causes stress or damage to your skin, which sounds like a very easy definition, but it is actually very, very hard to define because what may cause someone else's skin to irritate might not cause my skin to irritate. So it's very, very hard to determine what is a skin irritant. And some of the side effects that come along with skin irritants are redness, rash, eczema, hives, and a multitude of others. It just depends on the person. So one of the main skin irritants that is out there right now is known as propylene glycol. And propylene glycol is an organic skin conditioning agent. So it is a natural substance found in the earth. It is actually made from crude oil, and this substance is used in a lot of creams, so moisturizers, anti-aging creams, just like things that firm your face, stuff like that, because it is supposed to, make your face look healthier. But in reality, what it does is it strips layers from your skin and just causes it to look more dried out and damaged, and in some cases it can develop a rash with people. So some products that contain propylene glycol is Maybelline Anti-Aging Cream, Almay Liquid Eyeliner, and Neutrogena Sunscreen. So again, it is in a multitude of products, mainly found in lotions and creams that you would use on your face. So it is very, very scary. The hardest thing about testing these three classifications is the long-term effects, especially with endocrine disruptors and carcinogens. Side effects from these cosmetics might not show up till decades later, so it is very hard to determine that this cosmetic was the sole reason that someone got cancer. That is why it is so hard to test it, and that's why the FDA doesn't have that many regulations on it, because while a high dose of parabens might be illegal, a low dosage might be legal, sorry. But think about it. If you use a low dosage of something every day, a chronic use for years and years and years, that could just be as powerful or even more powerful than just one big dose of it. So it is scary to think that the things that we do every day and the things that have just become a form of habit and just a form of living to us can actually be killing us. It's very, very scary to think about that. But it's very hard to test these long-term effects because they don't show up till years later. So then next we'll be moving on to international policies and how they are similar and different to policies within the United States. So first, looking at the European Union. The European Union is probably has the strictest guidelines when it comes to cosmetics. They have a ban on any product, any chemical that has been known to cause birth defects or cancer. So they don't have parabens in the EU. It is banned, and that is because it has a direct link. It has been shown to have a direct link with cancer. So they are very, very strict about that. Another thing that they're very, very strict about is their labeling. On every label within the EU, they have to have on their cosmetics, may cause skin irritation or may cause infertility. And so they inform their consumers before they buy it, so they can, make the choice for themselves if they want to put themselves in harm's way to use mascara, which is a very, very smart thing to do. Similarly, Australia does something similar. Australia doesn't have any as strict of bans as the EU does. They have a bit more than the United States, but the United States has a very limited ban. So they have a bit more than the United States, but it's not as strict as the EU. But what they do is very similar to the EU is the labeling. On their labels, they must say, this has been shown to cause cancer, or this has been shown to cause skin irritation. So when they put this on their label, they are informing their consumer and making them have the choice, which I think is something that the United States should do. We should incorporate this kind of method into our society. Still giving our consumers the option to use these products. We are a country of capitalism, and capitalism is all about options. So now we are giving them the option to buy the product that they know that has, a cancer in it, a link to cancer in it, or they can buy something else, which I think is phenomenal. If you want to buy that because it's cheaper, you can. And I think the Australian method is the best way that we can kind of improve our industry of cosmetics. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is my outreach project that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. So I teamed up with the Beverly Hills Skin Institution, and specifically the dermatologist Dr. Misra Higgins, and we have been working on a pamphlet together, kind of creating a safe guide to cosmetics. And what we've been doing is we've kind of ruled out any chemicals to be aware of, good things that be good. We kind of gave specific examples of moisturizers you should use or moisturizers you shouldn't use. And what we're going to do is we're going to distribute this pamphlet all throughout Oakland County, or the Oakland County Health Clinics, I should say, just not all over Oakland County. But so if you go to a clinic, you can pick up the pamphlet and see it, and you can see what you should get versus what you shouldn't get. So that's basically what the pamphlet is about. And so over this topic, we have discussed the FDA and its regulations and how they might need a bit stricter policy with their companies, but they should still make sure that the companies are following protocol, and the company should be taking more of a responsibility than just trying to make a quick dollar. We've also looked at the actual chemicals and how they have been affecting our body, and it is becoming more likely that these are causes of, health problems in the future. It is, not just old age, it could be something that we're doing right now to our bodies versus, just old age. And lastly, we've looked at, policies that we should, look at to the future. We looked at the European Union, which has banned, birth defect products that have been shown to cause birth defects and products that have been shown to cause cancer. We should incorporate something like that, or even better, the Australian product, where they can still buy a product that contains that, or they don't have to, but at least they know. That is the biggest thing that we need to do as a country and as a consumerism, population. We need to be informed in what we're buying and side effects that come along with it. If we can inform ourselves in what we're buying and if it's good or bad, then we can decide for ourselves if we want to buy it. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.